Okay, let's talk about generational curses, right? Like if you're online chronically, as some of us are, eventually you'll come across people who say who say the thing about, oh, I am conquering generational curses. And what does that mean, right? What does that mean? It's whether people realize it or not is biblical. It's a biblical thing. You your parents pass down their demons to you, right? So anything in your bloodline that people don't conquer will pass down to you. In my family, our people suffer from addiction, right? And usually that, like, all my life I've known that addiction to be drugs. My mother's father was on drugs. My stepfather was even on drugs. um I have family now on drugs. And when addiction hit me, I just knew that it wouldn't be a thing for me, right? Because like I stayed far away from drugs, but when addiction did eventually catch up to me, it wasn't, well, it's still a drug. It was sex. But generational curses. What does that mean? The demons pass down your bloodline. It's things that your family, your bloodline, it's all passed down, and it's just generation after generation of people that never conquer the demons. That's what a generational curse is, right? And you hear people talk about conquering those curses all the time. I'm going to conquer this. And like, what does that mean, right? What does conquering the curse mean? It means you worked on it. You more than likely got into the Bible. You got your spirituality in check. You've built the relationship with God, and you've learned what you've needed to learn to conquer the thing, so you don't pass that particular thing down to your kids. And now they have a chance at something else getting hold to them, honestly, because eventually something will. But they have a chance for at least the thing that has been plaguing your family to not get a hold of them. That's what people mean when they say they're conquering generational curses. And maybe your family's generational curse isn't isn't addiction. Maybe it's financial. Maybe y'all terrible with money, and everybody in your long line of family history has been a brokey and can't keep jobs, or has been undisciplined and never accomplish anything that anybody thinks is like any kind of spectacular. Maybe nobody in your family finishes school. Maybe people in your family can't read. Maybe illiteracy is a thing, and that's passed down through your bloodline. I don't know what your family struggles with, but I can tell you about mine, right? My family struggles with addiction. And you would think that, like, if you have older people in your family, that they would know enough about the Bible, because a lot of older people went to church a lot. They go to church a lot, and they read the Bible a lot. That's what, like, a lot of old people did. while I was growing up. And you would think that they would learn that information and they would conquer it so the next generations don't have to suffer from it. But they hear for the first time just like we are. And just like we just now finding out, they just now finding out. But yeah, so when I think about people that say, like, I'm conquering generational curses, right? I also think about, what about my family now? Like, what about my immediate family now? Like, sure, I can work on myself and I can conquer the generational curse myself, but that only helps my kids. That doesn't help my family now. That doesn't stop the desire for love in my bloodline, the brokenness that leads us to care for other people more than we care about ourselves. That doesn't fix that for my family now. That only fixes that for me. Like, I know this information. That helps my children. That doesn't help my immediate family. What about them? What about their drug problems? What about their addictions, right? I don't want to be the only person right now, in the immediate. I don't want to be the one to conquer to I don't want to be the one to conquer it, right? Because, like, what about them? I like being the one is lonely. Iron sharpens iron, bro. I feel like, sure, you work on yourself. You put your own life vest on first so you can help other people. And when we say we're going to conquer our generational curses, like, sure, like, on a subconscious level, that's for us and for the next bloodline, right? But we are supposed to also take that knowledge and give back to the people that are here with us now. The information is relevant now. You should share it now. I know that that's uncomfortable, right? That's uncomfortable. I don't want to like talk to my nephews at the family function and be like, hey, black people have a tendency of using substances to cover depression, right? I don't want to do that at the family function. I don't like when the cousins and the nephews all go out on Christmas or New Year's and they go outside for their little walk, for the cousin walk as the internet calls it. I don't want to be like, hey, black people use alcohol and weed as a crutch for depression, because our people don't talk about depression in a real way like we need to. So we don't really have an outlet or enough understanding to talk about it in a real way to help our people. Like, that's an uncomfortable conversation. You might get cussed out for doing that, right? Especially if you are the only one who's going to be doing it, and especially if you bring it up and you're the only one bringing it up, so you have to bring it up semi-often. You don't want to be the one that pulls the one family member to the side and says, hey, mom has wanted love from the family her whole life, and nobody is giving her the type of love that she needs as an individual. And so she craved it, and so we also craved it. And you are currently settling for someone who you shouldn't settle for because you don't have enough love for yourself. That's a very uncomfortable thing to tell somebody, right? But if you are going to be the one in your family who breaks your generational curses, you are also going to have to be the one to pull those family members to the side and say, hey, I don't like the way you harbor resentment towards our mother. I know, like, maybe she was a different person from who she is now when you were a kid. But you 45, 50 something years old, it's time to let resentment go and grow as people. You are like you're holding on to something for no reason. Like, even if this person is the person that you say they are, even if they were, they aren't anymore. So why are you still holding on to this resentment, this hatred? Very uncomfortable conversations, bro. Very uncomfortable conversations. Especially because if you become the person who has to say these things, right? When Jesus went back to his hometown, and like everybody has been seeing him do miracles. They've been seeing him do miracles. And he go back to his hometown, and instead of them saying, hey, that's Jesus, the Son of God, ain't that Mary's son, the carpenter? The carpenter? Y'all worship the carpenter? And that's what your family gonna do to you, bro. Your family isn't going to care about who you are now. Not only are they not going to care, they aren't going to see or recognize who you are now. Like, I still hold a little bit of fear in me, right? I still hold a little bit of fear. My brother called me the other day and he asked me about these videos, and he was like, "Hey, what's up with those videos you be making? Because this content is like severely different from every other piece of content that I've ever made, but is also the most me out of anything I've ever made." And that's scary. But he asked me, he like, "What's up with that content you be making?" And I kind of disengaged. I kind of shrugged it off. I kind of like tried to distance myself. And I was like, "Oh, it's just advice. It's just like random advice videos." When the truth is, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what God told me that I'm supposed to be doing. God told me a long time ago that you, Mike Wells, are a leader and I need you to lead. And way back when, I told him, no, I'm not doing that. Like, especially with how smart I am, right? I understand who I am enough to know that leaders get pew-pewed. And I didn't want that for myself. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then he dragged me through the mud. And then I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it. He got me there. But I disengaged when my brother asked me about these videos. And instead of me telling him, God told me to impart my wisdom on the internet, that I'm supposed to have a platform, that I am a leader and I'm supposed to lead. Instead of saying that, oh, it's just little advice videos. But nah, I got to stand on that. I got to stand on that because that's part of who I am. I don't know how far away I got from the original topic of this video. What was it? Oh, was it? Yeah, it was generational curses. The real topic wasn't really generational curses. It was about it was about the family that isn't conquering those curses, and about it being your responsibility as the person who frees yourself from the generational curses to also try and help liberate the rest of your family. That's what this video was about. But I'm going to call it generational curses because still. But yeah, the burden is on you. The burden of being the bigger person, the leader, the effective change is on you. If this advice helped you, if you appreciate my wisdom, if you think somebody else needed this video and you sent it to them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Peace out, GG's, deuces.